Nobody wants to be rude, but the fact of the matter is, some people have a bit more of an odor to them than others. When we see celebrities strutting their stuff on the red carpet, looking prim, proper, and drop-dead gorgeous, it's difficult to imagine some of them might have poor personal hygiene habits. But there are quite a few stars that are not only filthy rich, but probably a little filthy too. Join Factsverse as we take a look at a few celebrities that infamously smell bad. Clark Gable. Often referred to as the King of Hollywood, Clark Gable starred in more than 60 films in multiple genres throughout his decade-spanning career. In addition to winning the Academy Award for Best Actor in It Happened One Night alongside Claudette Colbert, Gable famously played Rhett Butler opposite the voluptuous Vivien Leigh in Gone with the Wind. Although Gable and Vivian's Scarlett O'Hara character appeared to have an uncanny measure of on-screen chemistry, Leigh said she hated having to kiss Gable. The Manhattan melodrama star wore false teeth, and evidently, at least according to Leigh, his dentures smelled. As she put it, something awful. Now that's not to say dentures are always to blame for bad breath. Anyone who owns a pair knows how crucial it is to keep them clean. But maybe back in the 30s they hadn't yet invented cleaning products like Polident. Jennifer Aniston. This beloved Tinseltown star has at least one glaring flaw that's earned her a spot in this video. She's notorious for having pretty strong coffee breath, which is evidently so bad that on one occasion, actor Jason Bateman, who worked on The Switch and The Change-Up with her, literally had to stop kissing her while filming a steamy love scene because he could no longer bear the smell of her breath any longer. Besides Bateman, she also had kissing scenes with Alec Baldwin while guest starring on 30 Rock, and the actor was reportedly quite blunt about her smelly breath. He even went as far as to say the experience was painful. Alec was additionally quoted as saying he didn't know how every man who has to make out with her in TV shows and films managed to do it. So this should serve as a warning to all you future Aniston co-stars out there. Coffee is a good thing, but so is a Tic Tac. Sophia Loren. Godfather actor Marlon Brando ended up getting himself into a lifelong feud with Sophia Loren after complaining that the starlet's love for Italian food made her breath smell, as he bluntly put it, worse than a dinosaur's. While filming their first on-screen kiss for the 1967 film A Countess from Hong Kong, the actress suddenly pulled away from Brando's arms in a fury, telling the crew he had just whispered to her that she had long hairs growing out of her nostrils. The bad blood between the two stars was revealed in two books published 10 years after Brando's death in 2004. In the book Sophia Loren, a biography, written by Warren G. Harris, we learned that Brando offended Loren the very first time they met. As soon as he stepped into her dressing room on the Paramount lot, he took one look at her paintings and told her she was sick, emotionally disturbed, and needed to see a shrink. After the dumpster fire of a first on-screen kiss, Charlie Chaplin, the director, reportedly was able to console Loren enough for her to agree to do a couple more takes. But things went downhill from there. On the third take, Brando chomped down on Loren's lip so hard it bled. From then on, every other love scene they appeared in together, according to Chaplin, involved Brando and Loren clutching each other as if they were embracing a werewolf. Johnny Depp. Depp has perfected the traveling hobo look, but unfortunately the aesthetic, which has worked well for him in the Pirates of the Caribbean film franchise, isn't just limited to a look. While filming those swashbuckling films, Depp allegedly refused to shower to stay true to the appearance and vibe of his Captain Jack Sparrow character. He would also seldom brush his teeth, but then again, pirates weren't known for oral hygiene. While filming The Tourist, apparently Angelina Jolie found his breath to be so rancid, she asked him to freshen up with a little Listerine before offering him a handful of mints. Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt apparently prefers to keep things au naturel by lathering on his own homemade brew of lemons, water, and apple cider vinegar instead of deodorant. While he's been called the sexiest man alive on more than one occasion, Brad is a bit paranoid about modern chemicals. While it's perfectly okay to be cautious about what you choose to put on your body, there are other ways to deal with BO other than resorting to hippy-dippy, non-effective home remedies. Brad Pitt claims he's read up on the toxins of soap, especially those of the antibacterial variety, and feels using them, as well as deodorant, is not only bad for the environment, but bad for the body. He claims such items in fact speed up the aging process. Not only do Pitt's pits smell, but he even once encouraged his co-star Eli Roth to take what's sometimes referred to as a whore's bath, a shower with wet wipes. And to minimize what odor his underarms do produce, evidently, Brad shaves his armpits just as a girl would, he says. Angelina Jolie, Pitt's ex-wife, wasn't a big fan of her former lover's natural methods. The Inquirer even reported that their children's even started calling him Stinky Daddy. They thought the nickname was so fitting that Maddox and Zahara Pitt even worked together to change their father's Facebook username to the phrase. Pax and Shiloh found their dad's aroma so vile they even once surrounded him and pelted him with bricks of Irish Spring, while spurting him with spritzes of Chanel No. 5. Hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to Factsverse if you haven't already, and stick around for more smelly celebrities. Cameron Diaz. Diaz and Brad Pitt would probably make pretty good friends because she too is proud of the fact she hasn't worn deodorant in over 2 decades. According to the actress, antiperspirants not only clog your pores, but also trap in bodily scents, preventing the body from dispersing the odor as it would do naturally. And even if there is truth to that theory, Diaz apparently is also reportedly terrible at sorting through her clothes. Instead of cleaning house and doing a load of laundry every now and then, she'll often wear the same outfit several days in a row before tossing it in the trash. Matthew McConaughey. Is anyone that surprised that the guy who once got arrested for playing the bongos in the nude also smells like he walked out of a 12-hour Grateful Dead marathon? The dazed and confused actor is yet another member of the Anti-Deodorant League, and according to Kate Hudson, who he's worked with on quite a few occasions, Matthew has gone completely nose blind to his own earthy stench. While McConaughey seems to think the women in his life are gaga over his characteristic scent, Hudson has tried several times to convince him to invest in a stick of antiperspirant. But instead of using what he feels to be a stick of toxic poison, McConaughey instead opts to bring a rock of salt with him where he goes. Yvette Nicole Brown, a co-star of his, has also been vocal about his malodorous BO. But instead of finding it offensive, apparently Brown finds his smell enticing. She even once referred to it as delicious. To Brown, Matt smells like granola and good living. Now it's time to hear from you. Can you think of any other celebs you've heard are a touch on the smellier side? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Factsverse if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.